Hi, I want to talk a little bit about PTSD. I had several circumstances when I was young that I just thought every little girl had that would cause PTSD, but I didn't have any really trauma effects that I know of while I was young, except that after being sexually misused and abused for several times, I did step into a sexual lifestyle very early. I became a Christian when I was 28, and I became abstinent, et cetera, for 7 years. And then a preacher broke into my home and I'll just say had his way with me. I didn't have any issues as far as what I'm having now. I did buy a house in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, worked for a great radio station, and some things happened all at once. I quit that job. I had a boss that despised me, and my house went into bankruptcy that day, and someone showed up at my door serving me papers for some debt. I was being sued for something. Anyway, my mind broke. That's all I can say. I don't even know how to say it. I cried for 17 hours straight, went, got into a doctor, got on antidepressants. He gave them to me 3 times a day. Probably not the best idea. And I would do the stupidest things. Like, I would end up in a neighborhood and have no clue how I got there. I would stand at my sink with a toothbrush and toothpaste for 20 minutes, not knowing what I was supposed to do with them. I put I don't know if it was aluminum or metal pan in the microwave. It didn't even dawn on me that sparks were flying until after the fact. Just things like that, like my brain broke. I didn't do anything really to heal it. I didn't seek counseling or anything. Fast forward, so I got married, was married for 13 years. First 2.5, 3 years, my husband had an affair on me. I chose to forgive him and try to work through it. 6 months later, caught him at the same girl's house, who happened to be younger than our daughters. I can't compete with that. I still stayed. In 2016, he got diagnosed with what we thought was a tumor in his spinal cord. We had to go to Cleveland Clinic. They told us he would either be paralyzed from his armpits down in 6 months or he'd be gone. And that was too much for me. We went and filed when we got back to, actually Cleveland Clinic decided it was not a tumor. It was a syrinx, kind of a little lake in your spinal cord. But it still caused issues. We still had lots of doctor's appointments, tests, et cetera, and I went to the disability office to file for disability with him. And when we finished with this huge stack of papers, the girl handed it to me, asked me to reread just this first paragraph and then sign it. And I passed it back, just kind of giggling, and I said, well, you might change the first paragraph. It says December 30th or 31st. And she said, yes. I said, it's September. And she goes, no, it's December. And I looked at my husband and he said, we just had Christmas with the grandkids. And I realized I was losing it again. Got out to go get the car because he was on a walker at the time. I stepped right out in front of oncoming traffic. I didn't jump out of the way. Like they had to slam on their brakes. And I just looked at him like, I just did that. Wow. And I walked on over to the car, got the car, went and picked him up. He couldn't drive, obviously. He was on a walker. And I told him, you have to tell me where to go. He said, oh, it's easy. Hop on the highway over there. And I said, no. You have to tell me what lane to get in. How close is the turn? Am I turning right? Am I turning left? This is an area I've lived in for 20 some odd years, and I couldn't tell you how to get home. So finally made it home. I was shaking like a leaf, ended up calling 911, went to the hospital and all this good stuff. They did a battery of tests. I thought I was having a stroke.